Wind turbines herald the new era. Forward thinkers who envision an environmentally friendly China have designed a green dream. In a few years' time, a disused industrial wasteland is to provide 350,000 Chinese people with a new home in harmony with nature. It's a monumental undertaking in cooperation with Singapore. The Chinese government is subsidizing it, primarily the renewable energies and public buildings. The Eco-City is a huge pilot project.
As far as we know, Tianjin Eco-City is the first in the world to be built completely from scratch. There are eco-cities in other countries, but they're conversions of existing structures, retrofitting solar technology, modernizing public transport, and so on. Our city is starting from zero.
The design envisages 3 districts with plenty of greenery and a local rail service linking the Eco-City to the center of Tianjin, 40 kilometers away. But there's a lot of building to do. The first district, more precisely a part of the first district, is starting to take shape. The developers are opting for good insulation. A thermal imaging camera will reveal just how good later on. Rooftop solar collectors will heat the water. And there are rainwater utilization systems too. The buildings are constructed to allow for natural ventilation. But that alone doesn't create an eco-city.
Insulation, solar power, and wastewater treatment plants are one aspect. The other is that we have to educate the residents, familiarize them with waste separation, and explain that an environmentally sound lifestyle also means leaving their car in the garage.
Providing heat in the winter and cooling in the summer for 240,000 square meters of residential and office space takes a lot of power. A small power plant that runs on photovoltaics and geothermal will generate it. Renewables are to make up 1/5 of the power portfolio by 2020, but most of the energy will still come from coal. The power plant outside the Eco-City limits is cleaner than many others. The entire Tianjin region has been chosen as a flagship climate protection zone. Efficient use of coal is essential for a good carbon footprint. Coal is the backbone of China's growing prosperity. Several billion tons of it annually fuel its economic expansion. But it's a nightmare for the climate. China is not just concerned about the environment, but also about its energy reserves. Where will all the raw materials come from? Energy efficiency is the key to sustainable growth and to reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
In our power plants, there are a total of 6 boilers, 5 of which are coal-fired. We can't manage without coal, but coal is becoming more expensive. For our economic success to continue, we have to use less coal. Besides, the government has set energy conservation targets and permissible pollution limits that we have to observe.
New sulfur filters, modern boiler technology, and rainwater use are a start. In the past few years, the power plant operator has invested quite a lot and greatly improved efficiency. The power plants now consume 17,000 tons less of coal annually than they used to. Another Tianjin pilot project serves as an incentive to investment, an emissions trading exchange. In Europe, this sort of thing has existed for a while, but in China, climate protection is entering uncharted territory. The power plant operator, for instance, sold his emission reductions to Russia. The deals are arranged in this office. Back in the Eco-City, heavy industry is not wanted here. That would prevent the energy targets from being met. The investors hope to attract creative industry. A few buildings and conducive decor are already finished. It's hoped that one day filmmakers, graphic designers, and computer programmers will make Chinese animated films famous from here. At least that's the plan. For now, there are just a few migrant workers winter-proofing the precious plants. Planning is done from above in China. There are even clear ideas about the social makeup of the city.
We think about 60% of the homes will appeal to the middle class. About 20 are luxury apartments for the rich, and another 20% are for low-income groups. Then we have housing for the migrant workers.
An entire city created from the drawing board. Pilot projects everywhere. China is doing more than just paying lip service to climate protection. Despite that, the country refuses to comply with international climate targets.
If we enter into obligations and then can't fulfill them, well, there are so many areas where we still need to catch up. But we're setting ambitious goals for ourselves. And although a number of things here are changing, we'd rather not make promises.
In fact, several environmental pilot projects in China have already failed. In Tianjin, it will take a few years to see whether the dream will become a reality.